Welcome back everyone. Quickly, let's continue our discussion on CSS fonts. And right now, we will be discussing about CSS generic font families types. The CSS generic font family types we are going to be discussing about the serif font family type. The serif is a generic font family type. Sans serif is also a generic font family type. Monospace is also one of them. Cursive is also one of the generic font families type. Fantasy is also one of the generic font family types. So we are having 5 of them. We are having serif generic font family type. We are having sans serif generic font families type. We are having monospace generic font family types, and we are having cursive generic font family type, and also we are having fantasy generic font families. So inside this place now, we are having how many types of generic font families type? We are having 5 of them from the CSS. We are having serif, sans serif, we are having monospace, we have cursive, and also we have fantasy. So in CSS there are 5 generic font families. So the generic font families is all this: sans serif, serif, monospace, cursive, fantasy. So depends on how you want to arrange it. You are the one that knows what you want to do. Serif fonts have a small stroke at the edge of each letter. They create a sense of familiarity and elegance. Sans serif fonts have clean lines, no small strokes attached. They create a modern and minimalistic look, which is the second generic font families type. So the third one is monospace. The monospace fonts, here all the letters have the same fixed width. They create a mechanical look. The cursive font, which is the fourth one, imitates human handwriting. So the fifth one, which is the fantasy fonts are decorative or playful fonts. They are decorative or playful fonts. So we are using fantasy fonts. Fantasy fonts are decorative or playful fonts. So all different font names belongs to one of the generic font families. So any other font names you will be hearing in the future, all of them, any one of it can belong to serif, some of it can belong to sans serif, some of it can belong to monospace, some of it can belong to cursive, and some of it can belong to fantasy. So it just depends on the generic font families we are having. So every font names depends on the generic font families type. So we are still going to be exploring it in deep details, but note this, that we are having generic font families. So inside the generic font families, we are having different font names. So that's just what I have to tell you for now. Inside the generic font families, we are having what? Font names. So definitely font names belongs to each generic font families. It just depends on the font name you are using before you can know the type of the generic font family that the font belongs to. So in the future tutorial also, we are still going to be exploring this in more deep details. Anwar Akorede ayofe is my name once again. I wish to see you guys next time to the next tutorial. Peace and love. Have a great day. Bye bye. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Until the next